And Miss Allison in Ontario, how are your spirits today?
My spirits are great, although I can relate, Letitia, to your sense of uh, calm. And we also have a gray day, and the days are definitely getting colder up here. Grateful for this extraordinary palette that I look out at when I look outside. You know, we have very colorful, like you do in the northeast of the US, we have very colorful autumns here. And so right outside my window, I'm looking at this tree that looks as though it has some sort of internal light. It is absolutely pink. I mean, hot pink, all of the leaves. So I am, every time I look outside, I just am in awe of the natural world. So that's me today.
Oh, thank you, thank you. And Miss Rita Hubert, how are your spirits today?
Good morning, everybody. Good to see you. My spirits are good. I'm just gonna relax and read today. It's a cloudy day here too, and so I'm just going to cozy up in. I turned the heat on this morning and just read a book and relax.
Good. It's a BKTO day. Be kind to
Mhm.
oneself. Absolutely. And Mr. Johan in Berlin, how are you doing? You already had a full day today.
First of all, we had a clock change last weekend. So we are now 5 hours before you are not 6. It was before it was 6. Now it's 4:30 here. So I have to cut this 1 hour and get it back somewhere. And today today I had a full day on a trial. I was following my protege to his interview if he could get the application for asylum in Germany. And I come from 6 hours on court now. So I'm a little exhausted. And also I have to go to a rehearsal in an hour, and I will go there by bike. And I really have to cover in warm clothes because it's very cold outside. And the coldness is creeping into your clothes, you know. It's such a day.
Yep. The cold is creeping in. Absolutely. You have to keep warm. Most important is keep warm. Thank you, Johan. And Mr. Christopher in San Francisco. How are your spirits this morning?
Good morning. Good morning. All night long, the wind blew, and the leaves flew around, and it was very cold, and the windows rattled. So it was a very spookalicious um, night. And we have many plastic forks from takeout food in our secret box along the edges to keep the drafts from coming in. So it was fun to go for a walk this morning and see all the leaves swept around, and my dog's hair was blown back like in the commercials, and she looked like an adventurer there in the wintry cool. So this is an exciting change for San Francisco, and to me it's just blowing out the old, clearing out the old and making room for the transition that's happening this month for us. I'm very excited by new clarity.
Yes. Thank you. And Miss Ann Beth, how are your spirits this morning? Good morning.
Morning, everyone. Whoops.
Oh, you have to unmute again.
There we go.
Yeah.
Morning, everyone. My spirits could be better. I will say thank you to Allison to remind me that I have some amazing colors out my window. And of all the colors that have been neon, there's one tree that's hanging on, and it was a bright yellow, and now it's a bright orange, and it's just, as you said, illuminated from inside. It's the most extraordinary thing. So that helps. I just have to look out the window. Otherwise, I don't know. I'm with Sue on this. I don't know where my spirits are, but they're not very elevated today. And well, in case I have no other opportunity to ask the question, it's are we having a Halloween party?
Oh, why not? We can definitely have a Halloween party together on
Okay.
Saturday or on Friday. That's
Saturday.
we can have
Okay.
two
All right.
Halloween parties, Friday and Saturday. It's going to be the full moon,
Oh,
right?
No, Saturday's Halloween.
okay.
Anyway,
And that's it. Thank you.
and Miss Nancy, how are you doing today? How are your spirits today?
Well. I'm a Taurus, so I don't have those very fairy little spirits. I'm more the spirit of a raging bull. So things keep starting to stab at me, but I'm just plugging through, and they're gonna have to kill me to stop me. So that's kind of the spirit I'm in. Just plow through.
Absolutely. Thank you. And Miss Mary Beth, how are you doing this morning? How are your spirits today?
Oh, good morning, everyone. Well, they're better because I'm back here. I had to miss last week it was a long week. It ended with something really nice. I completed my foot reflexology course, so that's exciting. However, I was an hour and a half late to a class in my living room, less than 200. I mean, how does that happen? So Zoom. So I'm looking forward to the clarity that's coming. It's kind of gray outside because I see another building, but I find if you look at the space in between and focus on that, sometimes there's something cool about it, and then you don't get a headache. So I'm doing that, and I'm sorry for Sue. It's a hard, it's a horrible. Emergency rooms are not. I'm so sorry. And Nancy, I can understand how you could plow through because behind you that looks like candy corn. Is that true? Okay. So anyway, I'm happy to be here with everybody. And I was gonna do clutter cleaning. I wasn't here for 4 days. Do I get to talk that long? And I'll have a meeting. I'm kidding. I'll have a costume for Friday, hopefully, with all the things I'm pulling out.
So good to see.
So I'm just happy. I'm happy. Tired.
Absolutely. Thank you. And Miss Rita Maida, how are your spirits today?
Hi, everyone. And Beth, I love your idea of a Halloween party. My neighbor every year holds a wacky witches party, which this year there are no wacky witches. So I love this idea. Maybe I'll come as a wacky witch to this. My spirits are just feeling contemplative and wanting to go in.
Yes, the cold. We're beginning to kind of hunker in. Thank you. And Miss Linda Boney, how are your spirits today?
My spirits are better because I'm here with everybody. So I love everyone. So thank you. I'm good. I'm okay. I have a sinuses. It started last night. Still not, it's getting better, but I'm feeling a little down. So just gonna rest today.
Good. This is definitely a day to rest. Absolutely. And Miss Lee Loringer, how are your spirits today?
Or just letting the street cleaner just was going by. Other than technical difficulties getting on to Zoom, I'm actually doing My spirits are good this morning. I had a really good night's sleep, and I'm feeling things, have improved through the weekend. And I love that Beth mentioned Halloween. I think we have a deep connection with some things. It's my favorite day of the year. I mean, I love this time of year. I love Halloween and Day of the Dead. And I always love to dress up and have costumes and paint my face just to become these other sort of creatures or beings. Uh, and I finally, last night, I delayed doing it. I finally decorated because I have my Halloween decorations. So that's what I would love to be looking at colored leaves right now. The trees haven't changed yet here, but I'm looking at my Halloween decorations, and the 3 pumpkins that had grown in our backyard this summer, which we cut yesterday, and now I have them in our house, which is kind of fun to have had our own pumpkin patch that we picked yesterday. But I also, one thing I always do, and I have been doing this for a number of years, is I put up, or I create an ancestor altar for Day of the Dead, which over the last many years, some years were challenging because I had to add more and more people to my altar. It's ancestors, family, and friends who have passed away, and also cats. So I have this very large altar that I put up every year, and I just did it last night. For some reason I delayed doing it, even though it's really important to do. So it's an honoring. You put out food and drink for the ancestors and the cats and the friends, and it's about really having this deep connection right now, because this is the time of year where the veil is very thin between the living and the dead. That's why these holidays, these rituals, these ceremonies are at this time of the year. So even if you have a very small altar and you have pictures of your relatives or ancestors or friends, it's a good time to do it right now. So it makes me feel much more connected and in tune with life, past and present and future.
Thank you. And Miss Heather, how are your spirits today?
My spirits are really good. I too, like Allison and Beth, looked out my window in Midtown Manhattan, and I feel blessed that we can see 3 trees and they are changing colors. And I saw yellow leaves. And then I saw bright yellow in the back of a car, and it caught my attention while it was driving by. And when it got closer, it was a big, huge bunch of sunflowers. And I just thought of all of you, and it just really made me smile, and it lifted my spirits to see sunflowers out my front window.
The window oracles, sunflowers. So, anyway, and my spirits actually, it's pretty good. I had a pretty good sleep, and actually, I'm just so happy to be with all of you this morning. So I thought so this is Monday, so I thought read a little essay from This I Believe to begin the week. And the essay actually is actually from, I'm going onto my phone here. It's by Lou Studs Terkel. And Studs Terkel, he was an American author, historian, actor, and a broadcaster. And he received the Pulitzer Prize for the general nonfiction in 1985 for The Good War, and is best remembered for his oral histories of common Americans. And he also hosted a long-running radio show in Chicago. And actually, he wrote the foreword for This I Believe. And so I thought I'd read to you a piece of it. I mean, it's several pages, but I just felt like reading a piece of the foreword, which, I don't know, just felt very appropriate for this week. And so Andrew Sullivan, editor of the New Republic, who appears in this volume, has a similar vision. He and Algren may have differed considerably in their political views, yet here, as to fundamental belief, they were as one. I believe in the pursuit of happiness, not its attainment, nor its final definition, but its pursuit. I'd be remiss with no mention of Helen Keller, whose vision we sought, whose voice we heard 50 years ago, a deaf, dumb, and blind child. It was her sense of wonder and her pursuit of truth, which she saw much more clearly than sighted people, and heard much more clearly than hearing folk. They were voices in need throughout the world. She heard so vividly. Above all, it was her faith that the human being was better than his or her behavior. What I believe is a compote of these ingredients. Yes, I do have a point of view which I express much too frequently, I suspect. And yet there's always that uncertainty. In all my adventures among hundreds of Americans, I have discovered the rule of thumb does not work. I've been astonished too often by those I've visited, ordinary Americans who at times are extraordinary in their insights and dreams. I find the labels liberal and conservative of little meaning. Our language has become perverted along with the thoughts of many of us. Liberal, according to my dictionary, is defined as the freedom to speak out, no matter what the official word may be, and the right to defend all others who speak out whether or not they agree with you. Conservative is the word I've always associated with the conserving our environment from pollution, ensuring that our water is potable and our grass is green. So I declare myself a radical conservative. Radical as in getting to the root of things. Pasteur was a radical. Semmelweis was a radical. Wash your hands, he declared to doctors and nurses. He may have wound up in a nut house, but he pursued the truth, found it, and saved untold millions of others. I am conservative in that I'm out to conserve the blue of the sky, the freshness of the air of which we have less and less, the First Amendment of the Bill of Rights, and whatever semblance of sanity we may have left. As for faith, I've always called myself agnostic. Were Ambrose Bierce alive today, he would no doubt have added to his devil's dictionary, an agnostic is a cowardly atheist. Perhaps, but perhaps I do believe there is a God deposited in each of us ever since the Big Bang. I secretly envy those who believe in the hereafter, and with it the idea that they may once again meet dear ones. They cannot prove beyond a reasonable doubt that there is such a place. Neither can I disprove it. I cannot find that the bookmaker willing to take my bet on it. How will one who guesses right be able to collect his winnings? So speaking on behalf of the bookies of the world, all bets are off. Maybe the poet Keats was right after all in the Ode on the Grecian Urn. He envied the fortunate youth who was forever chasing his love, never quite catching her. The pursuit is all. And yet there is something which I believe with no uncertainty. There is something we can do while we're alive and breathing on this planet. It is to become an activist in the pursuit of a world in which it would be easier for people to behave decently. I am paraphrasing Dorothy Day, who founded the Catholic worker movement. Being an activist is self-explanatory. You act, you take part in something outside yourself. You join with others who may astonish you in thinking precisely as you do on the subject, say, of war, civil liberties, human rights. My belief came into being during the most traumatic moment in American history, the Great Depression of the 1930s. I remember seeing pots and pans and bedsteads and mattresses on the sidewalks. A family had just been evicted, and there was an individual cry of despair, multiplied by millions. But that community had a number of people on that very block, electricians, plumbers, carpenters, who repaired that very evening and moved the household goods back into that flat where they had been. They turned on the gas, they fixed the plumbing. It was a community in which action accomplishing something. Albert Einstein once observed that Westerners have a feeling the individual loses his freedom if he joins, say, a union or any group. Precisely the opposite is the case. Once you join others, even though at first your mission fails, you become a different person, a much stronger one. You feel that you really count. You discover your strength as an individual because you have, along the way, discovered others share in what you believe. You are not alone. And thus a community is formed. I am paraphrasing Einstein. I love to do that. Nobody dares contradict me. So my credo consists of the pursuit and the act. One without the other is self-indulgence. This I believe. So on that note, um, any comments or thoughts before we go into our meditation? But I thought that seemed to be a wonderful way to begin our week with Studs Terkel. So anyway, any comments, thoughts, or should we just go into our meditation? Miss Sue, please.
I thought his last bit was very interesting. It reminded me of the uselessness of Facebook, where, you know, we agree and we forward, and, you know, there's vitriol and there's happiness, and it's all kind of fake. You know, it doesn't stop me from checking it out, but I'm liking it less and less and moving away from it more and more. It is false. Without action, there can be no reaction. And, you know, for me, and I have no thoughts about how this falls for anyone else, but for me, myself, and I, this is a time for action, and voters are turning out more than ever. And however the chips land will remain to be seen, and we'll just have to accept the outcome.
Absolutely. Thank you. Anyone else? Actually, I just want to make a comment about, the Facebook. And, well, for me, Facebook has actually been my lifesaver. I mean, when I was bedridden, lying in my hospital bed, in the emergency room, I mean, here my little iPhone is literally my lifesaver was Facebook. However, I always posted something inspirational because, even though I was bedridden, I was traveling the world with everybody, which, Heather and I have done before, 2017. So, I've been graced with the life of travel and meeting so many different people. And look at here, all of you. I'm just so blessed to have all of you. So, I think it really does come down to, what is the intention? So talk about the act. So my act is to continually inspire people, have fun recipes online, do whatever writings, whatever I can do. I don't go into, the politics or any of that. That's just not my thing, so to speak. Because, my thing is to continually try to help others because it also helps uplifts my own spirit. And I think that's, so that's my act. Anyway, on that point, let's go into meditation. And I think we have a good 10 minutes before Zoom zooms us off. So let's just relax and just breathe. Clear our minds. Breathe and relax. And just feel your feet flat on the floor, connecting to Mother Earth. And let's imagine feeling this beautiful golden cord of energy coming from the universe, coming along the central channel of our bodies, going down to the base of our chair, going down deep, deep, deep down, connecting into the earth, heaven, humanity, and earth. And let's begin our time together with the bells of hope. And just breathe and relax. And just sit comfortably in your chair. And maybe imagine ourselves to be outside. Maybe it is a gray day and we're feeling warm and comfy. Maybe with a bouquet of sunflowers. And just relax and breathe. Maybe you can see yourself sitting with me in my gazebo on the side of the mountain, just overlooking the meandering river below, the pine trees in the distance, the mountains, the turtle or the tortoise mountains giving us support, the dragon and tiger hills on each side. And we're all gathered here together in the center, the Ming Tong, the bright hall, feeling safe and feeling gratitude. Breathe and relax. So relax your head and relax your necks and your shoulders. Relax your arms, even relax your hands. Bring your attention to our hearts, the middle dantian, and just relax. Relax our hearts. Bring our attention to the lower dantian and relax. Relax the golden stove. Relax our hips. Relax our thighs, our knees. Even relax our legs. Relax our ankles, our feet. There's nowhere else for us to go at this time. Just relax and breathe. And let's just listen. Maybe you can listen to the universe. Maybe listen to God. And most importantly, listen to your hearts. In Chinese traditional medicine, our hearts is known as the emperor, the commander-in-chief. And just listen to our hearts. And let's just take this time to listen to the silence. Sitting here is just so natural. And as you open your hearts, Just allow the chi from the universe, filled with love, filled with hope. And just allow this chi to expand, receiving the love, good health, breathing in and breathing out. And my arms are like the wings of the eagle outspread, welcoming freedom, welcoming good health, gathering chi and support and peace and comfort. Breathing in and breathing out. And let's imagine that we're all gathered here together in the lighthouse, in the lantern, expanding our chi light to everyone for order, trust, and peace. We are resilient. We are here to support each other during these waters of emotion swirling at the base of the lighthouse. And we are firmly anchored, holding hands with Mother Earth and thanking her for the clean waters, the fresh foods, and the wonders of the earth. Breathe and relax. And our beacons of light are shining strong beyond the horizons, filled with harmony and hope. Now gently, gently, gently take your hands, and one hand on your heart, and one hand on the lower dantian or any part of your body that feels comfortable. And just relax and breathe. And I'm going to close our time with the ringing of the bells. Om Mani Padme 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 Om. The 6 true words, welcoming good health, peace, smiles. And just gently, gently take your hands and just rub your palms together. Gently, gently tap the lower part of your jaw. Gently, gently tap your head, your forehead, rub your ears, do a little tap dance with Mother Earth. And tap, 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 tap the top part of your arm, the bottom part of the arm. Gently tap, tap, tap. Tap your shoulders. Gently tap your hearts. Happy Monday, everybody.